Take a deep breath. Deep conversations are starting.
Hello everyone, back here. Welcome to Deep Conversations podcast by Breath Hub. Welcome, Harika. A very nice guest again.
Thank you, Nevşah.
I would like to start by asking you about your breathwork journey, and maybe you can introduce yourself to our listeners and people who are watching us from YouTube.
Okay, hello everybody, and thank you for inviting me today, Nevşah. My name is Harika. I love my name. It means wonderful. And my breathwork journey, I don't know if you heard about shamans, how they are born shaman, and then they grow up as a shaman, and they learn the knowledge later. So I think that's what happened with me with the breathwork. I think I was born breathing right for some reason.
Where were you born?
Izmir, in Turkey.
Izmir, okay.
Yes.
Lots of shamans from Izmir are here.
Yes. What happened to me is, I think since I was little, I was always an observer. I was someone who was mindful, and I could stay in the moment, but I didn't know any of those, what they meant. And as
you were on your own journey, and you didn't know that other people were experiencing something else.
Yes,
basically,
exactly. Yeah. And then one day I remember I went to an energy worker, and he asked me, "How come you can breathe like this?" And I'm like, "I can breathe like what?" I didn't know what he meant. And then I saw a couple of breath workers, and again they asked me, "Where did you learn how to breathe like this?" What do you mean? And then one said, like, "I don't know whether you're an angel or a human because your breathing is like amazing." And then I had a friend who came here to do the breath work, and I thought, okay, I will come and join the breath course and I will translate things for you. So that's how I started. And it was great to know the knowledge. It was great to find out how your breathing actually affects your life, because as you know, they say, the way your life is, the way your breathing is, the way your breathing is, the way your life is.
Because
so it was great.
Sorry to interrupt,
okay.
but for our listeners who haven't done any breath work, who are new to breath work, meditation, or energy work, basically our breathing is not our respiratory system, because people think breathing and respiration are the same thing. They are not. Breathing is more about our soul, life force energy. It's energetic. It's our bioenergy. So it's basically how we breathe affects how we think and how we feel. That's why there are more and more psychologists that are now leading breathwork workshops, or that are now practicing breathwork, teaching breathing techniques. Because if we want to manipulate or change someone's physiology and the way they think, we need to focus on their breathing. The moment your breathing shifts, the way you live, what you feel, how you act starts changing.
Exactly.
Yeah, so by looking at your breath, we know a lot about you.
Yeah, you can read your life, isn't it, of your past. And I see the difference, actually. The mornings that I do, I'm a breath worker, but I kind of slip sometimes and don't practice. But then I consciously some mornings go, okay, this morning I'm starting the day by breathing. And the days I do that, my day is perfect. Everything runs perfect. Everything is so smooth.
So you're kind of like, you connect with that shamanic energy.
Yes, I guess so. Yeah, probably. Because I've been to shamanic courses as well. And it was great to see the knowledge there. But then I realized I live my life like that. So
how? Explain. What's that? I live my life like that. What's that?
That
okay, how does a shaman live her life?
Okay, well, I don't know whether you want to call it shaman or breath worker or just a person I am.
Yeah, because you said like you discovered that you were born like as a shaman. And for people who doesn't know anything about shamans, who are like, what does a shaman mean? What's that? What's the shamanic practice? Let's just go deep into that.
Okay. To me, I would say staying in connection all the time. So you are connected and you know that whatever is happening is the perfect thing that's happening. And you
connected with life, connected with yourself.
Connected with the divine.
Mostly, okay. So is it like kind of like being connected with the pulse of life? Like
pulse of life, and exactly. So you are there, you are in the moment, whatever is happening around you, you stay connected. So it could be chaos, but you can be in peace. So you are in that connection all the time, and you know whatever is happening is the perfect thing. And you stay the observer. You don't actually lose yourself in the emotions. You do feel the emotions, but they come and they go. You just let them go. Pass, exactly. And within that, you have the greatest power, because the power is in there, in the moment, and it is infinite power you have. You can create anything you want. And sometimes you just need to wait, not force, use that power and wait.
So it's also being connected with time, how time flows. Before you arrived, we were talking about time, because I was a few minutes late.
Okay.
And I remembered a friend of mine saying, you cannot manipulate or you cannot manage time, but you can measure time. So you can observe time, you can observe time flowing, but you can't manage it really, or you can't control it, or you can't manipulate it. Maybe time is the only thing we can control.
Yeah, I guess time is a bit like you need to be in it, like being in the sea. You are inside the sea, you are inside the time.
Yeah, you
so
can't
you just
change it, you
it.
can't manipulate it. And,
exactly.
And maybe we're not inside time at all.
Maybe
time is passing
maybe it's
through us,
and
we're
exactly.
just
exactly.
Maybe there is no time. I mean, my own journey, I'm like at a place where I don't experience time anymore. But I think that's a huge process, another thing we need to talk about some other day, or in my own podcasts.
Definitely.
Yeah, so let's come back to breath work. So what did breath work change in your life? And I will also ask you the strangest and the most interesting experience you or the people you facilitated in the sessions experienced. So first your experience, and then what's the most amazing one?
Okay, actually the most amazing one, I think, my first breath session, proper breath session, because I was in a good place anyway. I was feeling great, and the person I met, the breath worker, said, okay, let me just give you a breath session, because he checked my breath and he was amazed with it. But after the session, he said, okay, just go and have a look in the mirror. I'm like, why? Just go. So I went to the bathroom, and you know how they say people have light in them? I could actually see light coming out. It was stronger than the light in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, what is happening here? I think everyone should actually see that. They should feel, they should see the light reflecting out. So that was my most amazing experience.
Yeah, I think breath is the most powerful method to bring out the light.
Exactly. And we all have it
each
in
of
us.
Yeah,
and before that, I heard it all the time, but I didn't know what it meant. And literally seeing it, I think it was fantastic. And after that, I started going to the breathwork courses, and I became a breath facilitator myself. Now I run workshops as well. And I see the changes in people, and whatever their intention is, when you work on their breath, the life changes, and they actually create the reality of that intention.
Yeah. What's the one or two
crazy
have
a couple of them.
Let's talk about them.
Okay, for example, relationships. You know how people look for this partner that they kind of not find. And I worked on a couple of friends, and I gave one of them 2 sessions, the other one session. And pretty much straight away, they started seeing someone. And one has been with this person
I thought you would say
6
seeing
years.
each other, because that happens in my workshops the whole time. Yeah, it's like I was at one point, I was kind of like, this is a guarantee. If you come to my workshop, in that workshop, you're going to meet your soulmate. Because this is like for real. This happened like 10 times or 12 times. Like in every course, people meet. He's my soulmate. I'm like, I'm probably, organizing workshops and bringing soulmates together.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing.
Maybe I have a talent I don't know. So there are 2 different people meeting
2 different people,
others.
And one has been with this guy last 6 years now. And the other one is like 2 years, and they've been having a great relationship. And another one, I had a breath session with this lady, and she went home. She started drawing like perfect fashion pictures, and she said, I never knew I had that talent. It just came out after the breath session. But she told me during the session she was so connected. She felt being part of the universe, and I could see that on her breath as well. So great experiences.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah,
have you had any physical challenges or physical, emotional, like in powerful sessions?
We always do have powerful sessions. You know how people we get a lot of people crying, a lot of people laughing, but mostly what I heard is they could actually feel love coming towards them. So
experiencing
literally
love,
feeling love. So I think that's a great experience, isn't it?
Yeah, what I've been experiencing is I think breath is the most balanced thing in the world we can ever experience, because the mind can get unbalanced, our bodies, our physical, mental, but breath stays balanced. So breath stays as pure light and love, and no matter what you're doing, your breath will bring you back to your heart, back to love, back to wisdom. Exactly. It's kind of like I see that right now happening around the world, and that's kind of like the problem with the masses. It's like I sometimes say in my courses, what the masses choose will always be different from the people, from what the wise ones choose. It's like the wise people tend to not choose what masses choose. So it's kind of like I see the wise people understand the importance of breath, like the importance of wisdom, but the masses don't get it yet. It's like they think it's just respiration, it's just, we're all breathing. Yeah, I get that, but you're breathing, that's why you're alive. Your life depends on your breath and your wisdom and your intuition and who you are, your connection, everything depends on your breath.
Exactly.
So I think it needs a bit of a wisdom. Maybe you were because of that shamanic side self. We're all. I think. I mean, this is not a topic to maybe talk about before being researched, but I see that people who choose breath work and meditation, and breath work and combined meditation. Breath work is very much intense. So people who choose breathwork, the path of breathwork, are people who are born with some kind of a wisdom, already existing wisdom. Because I haven't met any breath worker or breathwork teacher who didn't have an already existing wisdom of somehow.
Okay.
Because it's kind of like even to choose breathwork, even to understand the power of breathwork. Like for me, it was a calling. It's like I started meditation and yoga before breath work. And in my meditation sessions, when I was meditating, when I was doing yoga, I could feel breath calling me, or I could feel I needed to do something with my breath. So I tried, it wasn't a coincidence, but intuitively and, with full consciousness, I started doing, trying different breath work sessions and breath work, modalities. Started with Osho diamond breath, and then the yogic breath and the therapy breath, and it's kind of like I could feel it. I think to just even feel the power of your breath, you need some kind of a wisdom.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I remember going my first meditation lesson. That was like about 25 years ago. And obviously you do breath there. And they did ask us to count our breath, like in 1 minute, how many breaths you take. And people started saying 25, 32, 18, 15. And I'm like, oh no, I shouldn't say how many I took, because that feels strange, because I only took 2 breaths. And the teacher said, oh, we have yogis with us. And I was like, what does that mean? And I think maybe you are born with that wisdom. And, however much you try to teach someone something, you can't unless they want to. And a lot of people are stuck in their belief systems. They believe in this, they believe in this, and they go into learning. But rather than learning, I think it is the feeling, opening your heart and just stepping into that wisdom. And then maybe you can move
and as
forward.
a teacher, as a breath worker, I don't know about your experience, but I've met teachers with the same or similar experiences. You start with the idea, or I'd say fantasy of, everyone can connect with themselves and everyone can awaken to a deeper truth and everyone can, and then you see that everyone can't. No. Actually, because I worked with, over 40,000 people finished my courses, and not even half of them could fully get what I was teaching. And I did my best. I did the same thing with all of them. So I think there is a kind of a level of choice we don't even know of.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like not everybody will be listening to this podcast, or not everybody will be joining our courses, and not everybody will choose the breathwork path or go deep, because it's kind of like, I don't want to say not meant to be, but it's kind of like because they don't choose. Maybe they think they want, but they want different things more than that.
Yeah, they are more stuck in the mind, isn't it? And, they said the longest route is the one from your mind to your heart. So, going down there is a bit hard for some people. So perhaps, when
it's actually the first time I hear this.
Oh, is
the
it?
Longest, yeah.
Okay.
I'm amazed as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, I hear many things the first time. The longest route is from your head
mind to your heart.
Your heart, not to your toe. To your heart. No, I get it. It's nothing to do with this route. It's everything to do with a couple of connected breaths, a million.
You have to switch this
ones.
off sometimes, and then just connect your heart, and then
it's the
that's
longest
where you
route.
find the
It takes years. To be able
for
to do
some,
that.
For some, for some,
Yeah.
it's a lifetime. For some, they never go there, and for some, it's just like that.
Yeah.
It depends really how open you are, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have any amazing experiences in your sessions to tell, like any near-death experiences.
Oh God, I had near-death experiences. I left my body. I know that I knocked the door and I was sent back. I actually felt my soul coming in. And when I was doing those meditations, actually...
I mean, these might sound too esoteric for some people, but these really happen, guys. Like these really happen.
And also
you literally... I mean, when it's like what Harika is saying right now, like near-death experiences where you literally leave the body during a breathing session.
Yeah.
And when you watch that person, they're not breathing. They are fully unconscious and then come back. Some people have a fear about it, but it's like it's nothing to fear because it's happening because of the magnetic field opening up during the breathing session. That's why breath work, some people think breath work creates the same experience like the most powerful psychedelics.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's much more powerful than any psychedelic. A psychedelic can't be even as close to what you can experience with, deep connected breath work. So you did have that experience as well. You left the body and
couple of times, and I've seen actually that that's going to sound very strange, but I saw
not to me.
I saw an army of souls, and I was on the stage, and they were like waiting for me to order. And I looked down, and I saw the earth, and I said, "No, actually, I have more things to do on earth, so not yet." So I kind of jumped back, came back.
I need my physical body.
Yeah, you probably live those as well.
I mean, I had more in my first breathing sessions. That's why I say it's much more powerful than psychedelics. And the reason is scientifically because I did research and work on it like forever. In the breathwork community, it's like some people go more scientific, some people go more spiritual, some people go... So I'm more on the scientific side. That's why I'm a faculty member at Breathing Sciences as well, because I wanted to learn about it. I had so many crazy experiences, and I've seen so many crazy stuff happening in the sessions. I wanted to know more, and the explanation... With my breathwork schools that I got training, the explanation was, transformation, and there's some energy transform. And I'm like, no, like I want to know it physically, like scientifically. I want to go deep. And now I know the reason why a breathwork session can be much powerful than any psychedelic or these near-death experiences are experienced is because your body goes in shock. Literally. Okay. Because during breathwork sessions, you have more oxygen in the blood, but you don't have oxygen in the cells. So it's like the cells don't have enough oxygen, and they think they're going to die. Okay. So they give this message to the brain and the body. It's literally like a near-death experience. Like when people experience accidents and they they're losing blood and the body goes in shock. They experience this, experiences they call like a near-death experience.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, because whenever the body goes in a shock, I don't want to go into scientific detail, but people can research about it, because this is in neuroscience books, or you can, research on it on neuroscience websites as well. So it's basically neuroscience. The brain creates the opposite. So that's the reason why people think they see angels, they see, they connect with God, or they see souls. It's just the brain. Because your body is in shock, there is too much, not negativity, but the opposite polar, like, near death, the body is so much in a shock. The brain creates the alternative side. That's also what happens when you use psychedelics. With psychedelics, with the change in the brain and the neurons, and the same thing happens, because some part of the brain shuts off, and so that's kind of like, that's actually why. And I have had like the craziest experiences, like past life experiences. So what my brain created as to compensate the body being in shock, and it's called the Bohr effect in respiratory science. Even if you have enough blood, enough oxygen in the blood stays saturated. It's called the Bohr effect, if anybody wants to research it. And then the blood doesn't release oxygen in the cells. So the cells deprive of oxygen, and they don't have enough oxygen, especially in the brain. So the brain, to keep you alive, creates the alternative. And it's kind of like a bit like hallucinations as well, but it's like you need it, and it depends on your own life experience. It depends on the brain experience, how far you can go there. So it's kind of like the breathing, the experiences in the breath session depends on how much stress you can tolerate.
Yeah.
The more you can tolerate, the deeper you'll go. And the deepest I went was like, again, with those out-of-body experiences and some experience, like I have had experiences like past life experiences where I, like real life experience, feeling the pain, I was burned and dead, and I had, I saw myself being hanged, it's so many crazy experiences and I literally thought for a long time that they were past life experiences. And then as I went deeper into the scientific part, and also deeper on the classic Vedic meditation, meditating and staying with myself hours after hours and days, and after a few Vipassana courses, I realized that those experiences are actually like what people call past time or past lifetimes, is a level of consciousness that's right here, right now, because there is no time. Actually,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you can get to a point where you realize there is no time. It's just happening, just in the
Exactly.
moment, everything.
Yeah.
So what we experience is with breath work, with deep conscious breath work, it's like you get to a point where you can tap into different levels of consciousness, and it's just absolutely crazy. Like where you can tap into, whoa,
I know. And I was just going to say, it used to happen to me in the past. Obviously, those days, again, I was doing breath work and meditation. And I used to see someone that I don't know I'm about to meet. They walk towards me. And remember in Terminator, he could see things written about people. I used to have that. Literally, I was reading about that person. Okay, he's this, he's that, he's going to be like this, he's living this at the moment. And then the minute I meet them, or sometimes when I shake their hand, it happened to me. And but I was a lot younger then, and it kind of was, I didn't know what to do with it, because you talk to people and then they tell you about themselves, but you see the underlining, like behind the scenes. And I was actually like naive enough to tell them like, yeah, you are saying this, but I think it's like this because I could read this, it's like this, like that. And I lost some people because like they didn't like hearing it. And I think there was the power of breath work and meditation as well. And, tapping into that, you get so much power, and if you know how to use it as well, I think you create this amazing life for yourself.
It's unbelievable what happens when you disconnect from the physical reality and start connecting deeper with the energetic reality. Like, I mean, it's obvious that, you know, we are energies and all that, but when you deeply using your breath, because breath is that energy.
Exactly.
That tap into that bioenergy field. Some people call it biohacking. You hack the system and go into that biological, you know, and then you're like, Because
I was talking to a shaman as well, and he said that happens to shamans. Like for example, if I'm a shaman, I meet you, and then everything about that person is like written on the wall across to them, and then they could just read all about the person.
Yeah, energetically you read.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it?
Well, how I translate it is that it's like we get wise, and this is for anybody listening. I think this is gonna sound logical. It's like wisdom and talent is about doing the same thing over and over again. I don't know if you read about it. I have a lot of research about it, like the talented people. There are no individuals who are born talented. When you look at, you know, the best basketball players, the best tennis players, the best pianists and all that, they are great talents because they did the same thing over and over and over again, like dedicated hours and years and years. And the reason they are talented than other people is because when you do the same thing over and over again for years and hours and weeks, like every day, a certain part of the brain gets activated and your brain starts your brain starts working differently than the other people, and that's talent. So basically, with breath work, if you do breath work over and over again, it's not going to happen the first day. That's why we built the app Breath Hub, because you need it every day, and you can't maybe work with a teacher every day, but you can go and practice breath work every day by yourself for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. When you do the same thing over and over again, that becomes wisdom.
Yes.
And breath is pure energy. So if there is anyone out there who would like to tap into the energy field of life, biohack the system, and go beyond the physical and understand what's really happening here energetically, you have to spend time each and every day with your breath. You have to spend time with energy. It's like, just imagine it as playing the piano each day for the rest of your life, and then in a few years you're the talent. You know, if you do breath work every day, if you connect with that energy field every day, you're gonna start having the wisdom and the talent, and you're gonna be able to tap into the energy field, and you're gonna be able to read the energy, the life energy, and that's gonna happen to each and anyone. You just need the dedication. You just need to practice every day.
Practice every day, exactly.
Yeah, this was a great conversation, and I have one last question for you. I ask this question to anybody I meet in these podcasts. One last question. So, what would be the one thing you would like to experience, or you would like to see the humanity learn and understand before you die?
I think I would like everyone to feel that we are one. Just don't keep yourself separated. Don't think anyone else is separated than you. We are all one. I would love to see that. I would like to see that,
Yeah, great wisdom. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
We had another amazing guest. I don't know if the topic was too intense, esoteric. Yeah, thanks for listening, and I'll meet you in the next podcast.
Thank you very much. Thank you.